it. So, okay, all right. So you can open up your case.
No.
Yep.
Do you want me to take
Okay,
it off?
yeah, you can hold it by the neck there. Don't worry about that yet. But you need to get, oh shoot, where did I put it? Right here. So this is your shoulder pad. So you can hold this. And when we put the shoulder pad on, because it would be really uncomfortable if we just played without the shoulder rest. So if you think of it as kind of like a frown, like see how it kind of bends a little bit, you put it on the violin that way, so it's frowning. Hopefully we won't be
Frowning towards me or frowning this way?
Frowning, like if you hold the violin up this way, the frown goes down. Yep. And you'll just slide it on that way.
Nope.
It can be a little tricky at first. If you start it from the bottom over here and like slide it up, does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
There you go. There you go. And then it slides up.
Okay.
There you go. Yep, like that. Okay, and then you're gonna hold it this way. It's gonna go on your left side. So you'll put it that way, and then you'll put your chin this way, not like the side of your face, but your chin on the chin rest, like that. And then the way that we can tell if it's comfortable is if you can, you're gonna have to apply a little bit of pressure with your chin, but if you can hold it without, yep, just like that. And can you talk?
Hello? Yes, I can talk.
Okay, cool. Then one thing that we want to remember when we are playing the violin is that we don't want any tension anywhere. So if at any point when we're doing this, if you feel tension in your shoulders or in your back or like in your neck, either, any of those things, then let me know and I'm going to try to watch out for those as well. But if you're tense, then that's going to affect your playing. So cool. Okay, so we also want to make sure, and the reason that we do that is because you shouldn't be kneading your hands for holding the violin. That's how you play, so don't have to worry about like holding it up with your hand. Okay, cool. So we're not going to use the bow today. We're just going to be playing pizzicato, which is a fancy word for plucking. So we're going to start out. Also want to let you know that you're playing a violin, but I'm playing a viola. So mine is a little bit bigger and the strings are a little bit different, and I'll make sure and tell you what the differences are just so that you know, but that's, yeah. Okay, so first we're going to talk about, we kind of talked about how to hold it, but for just starting out, instead of having your hand up here to play the strings, we're just going to keep our hand right here on the body of the violin, which is what this wooden part is. But we're going to practice the shape that your left hand is going to need when you're playing. So try to, when you're holding this, try to keep curved fingers up here and not like flat like this. Yep.
Okay.
And you, again, like we don't need it for support, so it doesn't have to do that much, but just make sure that it's kind of rounded in like a C shape, like that. Then your right hand, for plucking the strings, your thumb is going to go on the edge of the fingerboard, which is this black piece right here. It's going to go, and it's going to have a little bit of pressure, push a little bit against the fingerboard. And then when you pluck, you want to actually pluck with kind of the side of your finger. You want as much of your finger as possible to pluck the string, because that's how you'll get like a firm sound out of it. If you're just plucking on the tip, then that's not going to allow you to get as good of a tone in your playing. So we're going to start on the D string, and for you, your highest string is going to be an E string. Then the next one is going to be your A string, and then the next one is your D string, and then the lowest one is a G string. And all of those, you know what interval? Do you remember what interval is going to be between an E? So this one is an E, and then what is going to be between an E and an A? You can look at
Of course.
It could be, but it's going to be going up. So instead of, so this one is
A,
and this one is E. So what is that?
a fifth.
A fifth, right. So all the strings are a fifth apart, and that makes it really easy for playing like songs later on, because a lot of like children's songs are built on a fifth. But for today, we're just going to be worrying about one string, so pressure's off on you. But we're just going to be using the D string. So do you remember which one that is?
This one.
Yeah, good job. Okay, so it's gonna be a little bit. It's this string on from me, but you remember to play it on your D string, not my D string. Okay, so why don't you go ahead and show me? Actually, here, hold the violin down here, and then set yourself up like we just practiced. Okay. Good job. Pretty close. The only thing that I would change is move your thumb a little bit down here, closer to this wooden piece right here is called the bridge. So you don't have to be like right on the edge here, but I would say within the first like inch there would be a good place to aim for. Yep. And then I would also, your hand is kind of like backwards a little bit like this. So I would try, or I'm sorry, it was like a little bit forward this way. I would just tip your hand back a little bit this way so that it's easier. You're not having to like bend your finger as much when you're playing. But yeah, looks good. Okay, so we're just going to play 4 D strings together, and I'll do it and then you can repeat it back. So, oops, sorry. I'll do and you can hear how it's kind of like ringing in between and we're not like stopping that from ringing. So cool. Okay, so I'm going to do some different rhythmic patterns now and I want you to repeat them back. Okay. Ready? Good job. We'll do one more. Okay. Good. Okay, so now we get to do the fun part of actually putting our fingers on the strings. So we are going to be playing D, and then what is a whole step up from D? This is an easy one. Don't think too much. E, right. Okay. So I'm going to play you an E, and then when we play on the fingerboard, so your thumb is going to come around on this side like this, and you don't want it to be flat. It should be curved a little bit, and your hand is again going to keep that C shape that we were practicing earlier. So shouldn't be playing with flat fingers or weird like wrist. It should be comfortable, and then with rounded fingers. And when you press down on the fingerboard, it's going to be kind of the same thing that we were talking about with plucking, where you want as much of your finger to be on it as possible. So you don't want your fingers to be like laying flat. It's not going to be as much of your finger as when we were doing this, but you don't want to be all the way on the tip or messing with like where your fingernail is and that kind of thing. So you want to make sure that it's firm on the string. So I am going to play an E for you, and then I want you to just kind of, you can see where mine is. It's going to be a little bit different than it is on yours as far, it's not going to be exactly the same amount because my instrument is a little bit bigger, but I want you to be able to listen and hear when you think your finger is in the right place for an E. Does that make sense? So you can kind of experiment with it. So I'm going to go ahead and play it.
You want me to go?
Yep. Make sure I would round your fingers a little bit more. Bring your, no, you're fine. Twist your wrist around a little bit. Yeah, bring it. There you go. Yeah, sounds good. Okay, so can you try taking your finger off and then putting it back on? So play D, E. Yeah, good, good. Okay, so I'm going to play some patterns using D and E, and then I want you to repeat them back. Okay? So. Yep, and these fingers can kind of curve around as well. They don't have to be like all the way out here, and they don't have to be right on top of the strings, but try to keep them kind of close, because if you get crazy, then you might need them, right? So, okay, cool. So let's try one more.
Ooh.
There you go. Yeah, you heard it. Let's try that one again.
Ooh. There you go.
There you go. There you go. Make sure that keep your, yeah, there you go. Keep it around a little bit. Okay, cool. And we'll do one more.
Can You can do that again.
Yep. Yep, try it one more time. Good job. Good. Okay, and then the last note that we're going to learn today is going to be F sharp, which is another whole step up from E, and it sounds like this. Oops. So D, E, F sharp. Okay, so you found the pitch, but when we're playing whole steps on the violin, we're actually going to make sure that we use consecutive fingers because there's not really a need, and sometimes it can get cramped if you're trying to use your third finger. When we number our fingers on when we're playing stringed instruments, this is going to be your first finger because your thumb doesn't really, it's not playing. So this is your first finger, second finger, third finger, and fourth finger. So your first finger is going to play the E, and then your second finger will play the F sharp. So try that again. Good. That sounded really good, actually. Okay, so let's try putting the violin down again. Shake it out.
Got it.
Okay, and then get your position ready. Good job. Let me see your right hand. Right hand.
Nope, sorry.
You're fine. Yep. Good job. Okay, and then D. Good job. Okay, so you want to do some patterns now with those three notes? Okay. So let's do.
Do you start on D?
Yep. And one thing that can kind of help you is that when you are playing notes, you don't have to lift up your first finger when you're putting your second finger down. So that can stay in position. That can help you. And then also when you, for right now at least, when you are like playing an open string, try to keep your fingers like right above the like where their positions are, and that will help you from getting kind of disoriented as far as that goes. Okay, so let's try a couple more. Oops. And guess what? You already played a song!
Yeah, I know! Yay!
Okay, so we're going to put it all together now. And I'll play with you, but we're going to put all of those together. You think you can do that?
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll start. Ready, and. Good. Okay, let's try the kind of fast part in the middle. So. Good. Make sure that you're, yeah, there you go. Good job. Okay, so you want to do it with an accompaniment?
Yeah.
Ready? Concert ready? All right, so I'll give you an introduction that'll sound like this. And then you'll come in. Sound good?
What's the tempo?
We'll go dun, 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 dun. Good? Okay.